So let's look at these problem-solving ones we didn't get to in class. I'm actually going to start with example 2 down here, and then I'll have you guys stop the video and go try the example 1 from up above. All right, so looking at this, we've got 3 Venn diagrams, or 3 of our circles here, and they're going to stand for the 3 types of classes. So we've got history, English, and math. The key to these is to always start in the middle on the intersection. And that's the one where they're all overlapping. So this middle piece right here is going to be the people that are taking or liking, the people that like history, English, and math. So it's those 3. We really have to start in this middle piece and work our way out. That's the key to those. So I've used up these 3. Now I'm going to work in outward. So I'm going to do the other overlapping. So my piece right here, these are people that like history and math. So history and math. And it's just not as simple as plugging 7 in there, because 3 people already have said they like history and math. If you like all 3 of them, then you like 2 of them. So 7 minus 3, there are actually only 4 new people to put in that square, or spot, not square, spot I should say. So we're always going to do that subtracting thing. So I've done history and math, so now I'll do history and English. So that's 5, but again, I'm going to subtract the 3 that I've already counted. So I'm just putting a 2. And then, in the last spot, it was 8, subtract that 3, so I'm left with 5. I'm going to keep working out, so now I can do the furthest out, the ones that only like history or math or English. So it doesn't matter which one we start with, but 18 like math. So this math circle here is 18, but I already have some numbers inside the math circle. So I'm going to subtract those. 18 minus 5 minus 3 minus 4. So I'm going to subtract everything that's in that math circle. That's going to leave me 6. Similar, the English is this entire circle. So English was 19, but I already have used up 5, 3, and 2. So that's going to leave me with just 9. And then history is this circle. So there's 16. There's already a 2, a 3, and a 4 in that circle, so that's going to leave with just 7. So now I've filled in the entire circle. So I can answer my questions. The questions are actually down here. So how many students were in the survey? So how many students were in the survey? I'm going to add up all the numbers that are inside my Venn diagram. So every one of those spots, I'm going to add them all up to get 36. The students that only like math, so only like math, are the ones that are just in that math circle. So just those 6. One thing I will point out is I don't have a word problem like every single one of them. So if you got a word problem up here in the directions, so going back to the directions, if it said 7 like only history or math, so if they say the word only in the directions, you don't have to subtract. That means they've already done the subtracting for you. Notice I used the word only there, and it was the answer that was already subtracted. So if the directions give it to you as only, and not the question, but in these directions up here, the direction said only, you don't have to worry about subtracting, it's already been done for you. So that only takes into account the subtraction. So what I want you guys to do, I've got one that's simpler because it only has 2 circles up here. I want you to try and work this next one. So we've got stocks and bonds. Let's just label them so it matches with what you're working. So pause the video, This was the one I was going to have you guys try in class anyway. So go ahead and give it a shot and then come back. All right, so coming back from the pause, we have 1,000 investors to determine, and it was determined 600 invested in stocks, 575 in bonds, and 300 in both. So 300 were in both. In the bonds, I had 575 minus the 300, so 275. 600 invested in stocks. Again, I'm going to subtract the 300 from the middle. Happens to give me 300 again. Just a coincidence, we haven't seen that before. We want to know how many invested in only stocks. That's the 300. And then we want to know how many invested in either stock, did not invest in either stocks and bonds. We didn't see that one before. There were 1,000 investors total. I know 300 were in stocks, 300 were in bonds, and 275 were in the bonds. So 300 in stocks, 300 in both, 275 in bonds. So that's going to give me, let's see, forgot my calculator before I made this. Let's see, 600, so 875. So I think that will give me 125 that are in neither one of them, that did not invest in the stocks or the bonds. These, you can kind of see the little bit, the box here. This technically is the universe. We talked about the universe in section 2.2. So there are 125 that are floating out there in the universe that aren't part of the Venn diagram.